Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this series of videos, I'll be breaking down some of your work, looking at your color, your cinematography, and your lighting. And there's a reason why I'm doing this. This is not to bash your work. This is not to say your work is great or your work is not good. But this is just a way that every other person in this community can learn. So this was sent to me by Roger. Roger is an amazing cinematographer in my opinion, even though he started just filming professionally this year. I think with his body of work, you can tell that he knows what he's doing and is going to even become better. So in this episode, I'll be going through some of his work. I'll be giving suggestions on things I think he can improve on in terms of lighting, and most especially cinematography, and also just generally talking about the color, looking at the editing style, and just to give like an overview, and hopefully you also will learn something from this video. Again, this is not a school, this is not a place to bash videos. All I'm doing is looking through your work, giving my opinion, giving my suggestions. You don't have to take it. It's just how I would approach some of these things. So enough talk. Let's take a look at Roger's work and give him some pointers here and there. Okay, let's go. So the first work I'm going to be looking at is this one. So I've got like 4 different ones on the timeline. Yeah. And just from a first glance, I can tell that, like he told me already, he's into dance. He likes to film dance and, bodybuilders. And so he sent me a couple of stuff, but I just selected this 4 because I feel like the tips I would give him is going to just carry across into the other projects. And hopefully, if you're watching this, I'm hoping that this will really be helpful to you. Okay, so let me start with this one. There's some music under it, which I wish I could play. It's really nice vibes, but I don't want a copyright strike, so I'm not going to play the music. Or let's play just a little bit. Okay, no more music. Okay, so we're watching this. Let's go full viewer just so we see what we're doing. All right, I'm looking at this. Lovely. Everyone is vibing. This is salsa. I wish I could dance salsa in my life, but nope. So this is nice. Love it. Looks really good. Okay, so one thing I noticed while I was watching this is if I skim through, there's nothing different. It's the same thing, right? You kept the same shot. You kept the frame as a wide shot. You didn't change your angles. So what I would do for stuff, this might be your style. This might be intentional. But what I would do for stuff like this usually is after filming the wide shots, I would go in and change my lens, or I'll probably move in closer and film like a medium shot, something from a different angle. It could be from the top. I could film something just to look down at them. I could do like a close up, just so when I'm editing, I can have different shots to play with. The reason being that if somebody watches this, they start to watch it and they're like, okay, nice vibe, love it. But then they're like, okay, so what now? Okay. When someone has a reason to ask what now, then you've lost them. Human beings, the attention span of every human being, most especially recently, is very, very low. So you have to keep it interesting. You have to keep it going. So because it's dance, if you create new angles, I mean, this might be intentional. It might be because you want people to like probably learn a routine. You don't want to cut, but I'm not sure this was supposed to be for a routine. If it's for a routine and you want things to just stay in one shot, that makes sense. But however, if you want it to be more engaging, what I would recommend is try a second angle. After filming one, you're done with that one, put your camera at a different angle, or you change your lens and probably just slightly move a bit. One thing that most people would do is they would change your lens and then just stay in the same spot, and maybe the shot will look like this. Let me show you. The shot will probably now look like this, and then they will just record that way, and in their minds they've changed angle. The challenge with that is because your routine might not be spot on the same thing in the different takes, there's a very good chance that if you film that way and you try to cut in between, there'll be continuity errors that you can't mask. So I would advise that you change the angle. Maybe you come from the side, you come from the top, or you do a close-up where you select one person, then that means you have to shoot the other person, which might be more difficult. But I would say like the rule of thumb for me is if I'm filming a wide shot this way, when I'm doing maybe like another angle, I try to move my camera to like a different angle. If I'm going face on, I try to move to the side, just to create a different perspective. So that's what I would advise in terms of camera composition and angle. Aside that, this is a good body of work. It's nice. Let me take it back. But you can see, like I said, nothing is happening other than they're dancing. So there's not a lot going on other than the dance, which again is not a bad thing. But if you want to improve this, you might want to just, change that a little bit and see how it flows. Let's talk about lighting for a second. In terms of lighting, I think the lighting is pretty nice. I can tell that. Let me change this quickly. So I can tell that. Let me go full screen. I can tell that. Let's look for a good frame. From here, you can tell where the light is coming from clearly. You can clearly see that your lights are coming from here. So you have your lights from here. So I don't know what light you're using, but it's an open face light, and the light is coming, and that's why you can see the lights on their face around here. And if you look at it very well, you can see the shadow on this side of their body. So the main light is coming from here, hitting them. And that looks good. So well done. That's good. If I was going to suggest anything, what I would say is maybe soften the light a little bit. This light looks like it's ash. So if it's a bit softened, you probably put, like, what you would do for that is to put, it's easier to get like a shower curtain, or if you have like a diffusion frame, which you might not have, it's quite expensive. But if you get a shower curtain, put it on like a C stand and just put something like this. It's going to look something like this, then put your light here. Sorry, my drawing is horrible, but this is your light. And then you shine your light through that shower curtain. What that does for you is it makes the light softer. So the light is going to be softer on the body. You see these ash points that you're seeing on her face, right? It's because the light is coming directly at the person. It's not soft enough. So you can see that it's very bright. And then on this side, it's just different. I feel like there's another light here also. You probably have like another light hitting them here. I don't know if that's that, or maybe it's the reflection from the wall. If you ask me, I would say, like, I think it's this light reflecting back, coming back at them from here. So what I would do ideally if I was filming this was, let me remove all this, my horrible drawing. So what I would do if I was filming this is, the way I would set up the light is, I'll have, like I said, I'll have like my frame, outside shot, of course. I'll have the lights here, somewhere here. Why am I drawing a light like a person? Then I'll shine my light in through this frame so that the light comes at them soft. Then on this side, I'm going to get another like black fabric. It's probably going to be, it can be anything. You can buy it from the tailor, you can buy it from the market. Don't spend so much money on camera gear. I would advise you, because they do the same thing. If you go out there and you start buying things from Amazon, you're going to probably get like stuff very expensive. But you can go to your tailor or go to the market and buy the same things, and it'll be cheaper, right? Good. So if you get like a black fabric, and then here you put it on this side, the reason for that is it just helps you to remove this peel. So you see all these lights on the wall here that is bouncing. If you put like a black fabric around here, just away from the shot, it helps you to remove some of this bounce that's coming back from here, and it helps to create like a 3-dimensional shot. Again, you might not have the resources to do that. Don't stress yourself. If you can't, it's okay. This is a good shot already. I'm just telling you what I would do sometimes to make things look even better. Also, another thing that I would point out is the fact that the lights, I can clearly see the light here, right? And when it comes to cinematography, the brightest point of the shot is where your eyes go to. So right now, if you look at my setup, there's a light in front of me right here. That's lighting my face. The background is a bit darker, and that's intentional. Damn. Sorry, I left my wardrobe open. I'm gonna close that now. So as I was saying, the light on my face is bright. The light at the background is a bit darker. And as you can see, my face is the point that you're looking at. Like, no matter what's going on in the background, this is the thing that you're drawn to. Hopefully it's my face you're looking at, and you're not looking at my background. Don't look at my background. But you guys looking at my wardrobe. So when you're lighting, try to make sure that you remove light from the walls. So what I would have done here is, so let's say your lights, let me remove all this drawing. So let's say, what am I doing? Okay, so let me show you what would happen. I'm going to do a top-down drawing, and let's say this is the room. My drawing is horrible. Wow. Okay. No, I can't live with that. Let's change it. Aha. That's more like it. Let's say this is the room. This is a top-down view now, right? Let's say these are your dancers here. This is the lady, and this is the guy behind the lady. Okay. Let me put eyes for them. Two dots. Okay, two dancers. Then the way I would like this is, let's say the light is here. So again, this is the room. This is the entire room. You have like your staircase here and everything. The staircase behind them. So if I put my light here, right? And I put that frame in front of the light. Let's say this is the frame. Okay. And the light is bouncing into this frame, right? And because of that, the light is coming. Because of the bounce, then I have the lights. Let me change this color. And I have the lights going onto them this way. Okay. What I would do after then is to put some black fabric here, make sure that this place is dark so that the light coming here, when it hits the wall, it doesn't bounce back to them and light them, because I want to create that shadow side of their face. Minus that, but let's say I don't even bother to do that. What I would do is to make sure that here, I put something here. Let me change the color. I put something black here. Okay? Reason why is that I don't want this light that is coming from there to go all the way to this place and light all the walls here also. I know my drawing is horrible, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Because what you can see now is the lights here. Ideally, we want this place to be dark. You want this place to be as dark as this place. You don't want the light to show. Because what that does is it shows us where the light is coming from. So if you darken that out by blocking the light, making sure the light that you put here, the light that you're shining through here, something is blocking it. It would not hit this wall. And that would just make your shot a bit better. Aside that, I love everything on it. It looks good. I like the shadows on the wall. I like the texture. Everything looks good. Nice location. It's really nice that you centered your dancers. You put them in the middle. And everything just looks nice. Just randomly, I'm going to just create a node and just push some things and see what happens in terms of contrast. So I can push the contrast a bit down. So I'm going to push this down. Can you see I'm taking the highlights down already? And I'm putting the midtones up. Taking the shadows. Take the highlights down. Just so you know what I'm doing. What I'm doing, when I say highlights, I'm taking the gain down. When I say midtones, it's gamma. When I say lifts, when I say shadows, it's lifts. So this is shadows, midtones, highlights. That's the way it works. Okay, let's go on. So let's say before and after. I'm going to raise up this a bit. Before and after. The goal is to create more contrast, okay? Before and after. Then let's create another node. Again, this is not a color grading tutorial. It's just me telling you what you could have done also in post to create some more depth. So I'm raising up the contrast a bit, and I'm going to increase the pivots. Okay, and this is already like an exported file, so I'm not going to be able to get as much detail in the color as much as I would if I was working with the raw files. But hopefully this gives you like a sense of what I'm saying. So that's the contrast. I'm going to take the highlights down and raise the midtone a bit. And let's see, this was before, this is after. This is before and after. A bit dark again. This is this is me pushing something that's been graded already and trying to get it to look good. Maybe I'll give you let's do some saturation and see what happens. Let's saturate with HSL. Let's go to HSL, our curves. Again, this is not ideal. We're just messing around and seeing what happens. So let's go to HSL. Let's look at the yellow and, move the yellow a bit. Let's go to saturation. Saturate the yellow and see what we can get from there. Saturate the reds. It's too much. Push the blues up. I'll go to the hue versus hue. I'll swing the blues just to create some complementary color. Swing it a little bit. I'm swinging the reds now, looking at the skin tone, just trying to see how much love I can give the shots. And let's see what we had before. This is before, this is after. Before and after. I created that little split, that complementary look where you kind of push teal into the background and you push warmth into the body. And what I would do last, ideally, is you guys should know by now, I'll create a power window and put something around them. So I'll create a power window. I'll show you what I'm doing. This is the power window. Create this, feather it out, invert it, so that what you're affecting is the background. Invert it and take down the background. Take down the background. See, it's taking down the background. I'm going to show you what it looks like before and after, so you can judge for yourself. So this was before and after. You can see how much I've taken the light from here down. It's not ideal. Again, this is not ideal because this is an already graded stuff. But I don't know if you can see, but it just pops a bit more. So this is what I came up with. This is what you had before. This is the look. This is what you had before. And I didn't do anything serious. So if I add like the original footage, of course, I'll be able to push more colors. I'm going to swing the green a bit, just so the green can really stand out. Then I think that she has magenta here, so I'm going to move the magenta around. Just bringing out the colors, making sure that everything looks even way better. Luminance. I'm going to the luminance now. In case you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm basically walking around here and I'm just swinging things around. Go to the luminance, and for the magenta, darken it a bit, darken the green a bit, and see the difference before and after. Before and after. I can go to my hue versus hue, and this color is bothering me a bit, so I'm going to swing it back a bit. So this is before and after. So this is what we had before. This is what you shot. This is what I kind of created with that, And if you play back, yeah, before and after. Before and after. I just tamed it a bit, brought the highlights down, gave the skin color some juice, make sure that the colors pop it just a little bit more, and then our eyes are drawn to them. So that's what I would do in terms of lighting and changing anything. And I've also told you what I would do in terms of cinematography. So let's move on to the next one. In general, that was a good one. I like it. I think I like the fact that your shots were clean, everything, the lighting was pristine, just a little bit more shape to the lights, And also, maybe another thing that could have helped, if we're going to go a little bit into it, is for this light, for example, maybe some A's in the room would have been nice, just to push the background, It depends on you. I feel like these projects are not projects that you have a lot of budgets to work on, so it's understandable if you are not able to do too much. But ideally, maybe you put a backlight. I'll show you what I'm saying. So maybe you put it can be like something you hide somewhere. Funny enough, if you could, for a dance video like this, I will put a light stand confidently. Let me show you what I'm saying. So for a dance video like this, I'll probably put a light stand there confidently and bounce light on them. I wouldn't mind. It's part of the aesthetics, It's not like you're shooting a music video and you don't want the lighting stand. I'll probably put 2 lights here, oh gosh, this is horrible, but you guys get the point, right? So I'll put 2 lights here just to create like a back, just to be able to create a backlight for them. And the reason why, for black skin, we also need to get separation, a lot of separation in our shots. So if you have something backlighting them, it will be very ideal. So you need some light to kind of backlight them, because you can see like your light is coming from here and that's where it's coming from. But if you had something that was, maybe like highlighting them here, from the back, see all these black parts now, for example, if you have some light hitting them from that back, it will just really make the character stand out a bit more and push them out a bit more. So yes, let's start. Let's move on to the next one and see. Okay. So guy is on his phone. Guy is waiting. Is checking Rash royalty. Okay. Sees a babe walk past. Is distracted. Normal thing that men would do. Women will distract you. And it goes after the woman. and it sends a fireball like a Hadouken. Then it draws that to him with the fireball, and then dance starts. Dum 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 dum. Like it. Okay. So yeah, you changed angles. Lovely. So I can see that you change angles in this one, which is good. That's an improvement. So you change angles, but there's something I'm going to like quickly just point out from what I saw now. So you changed angles, but you changed the orientation. So you jumped from. So there's something called line of direction. So when you look, you've established the scene here, right? The scene says guy is. Let me show you. Guy is here, and lady is where? Come on. Guy is there and lady is here. Okay? That means lady is on the right and the guy is on the left. Okay? Lady on the right, guy on the left. Then we proceeded. We're like, okay, we get it now. Our eyes are used to the direction. We're watching the dance. We enjoy them dance. And then you want to change angles, and then you're like, okay, where's the lady on the left? Why is the lady on the left? Why is the guy on the right? What happened? What happened, right? So you have jumped the line. So what you have done technically is let's draw, as usual, let's draw our room. So this is our room, okay? I'm going to go to the other shot too, because that's the shot that you've already established and you're supposed to follow. So we have our guy here. So our guy is here and our lady is here. So imagine with this one that you have a line, okay? You have a line that you have drawn across them, okay? And then your camera is here looking at them like that, all right? So your camera is covering from here. At every point that you change camera angles or you change your composition or you change your shot size, which is maybe you go from a wide to like a close-up, you have to try to maintain that line of continuity. So at every point, you can move your camera from here to here. Camera can be here. You can shoot. Camera can be here, shooting this way. Lady is still on the right, looking this way. Camera can be here, shooting this way. You still have the lady on the right. So what I do to remind myself is I always tell myself, I just look at one person. This person is on the right, looking left. So every time I'm shooting, the person must always be on the right of the shot. At least for that sequence, okay? So what you have done is that you have jumped the line. What you have technically done is that you have taken your camera, and I'll show you now. Let me draw it for you. You have taken your camera here instead. So you have jumped the 360 line and you have shot this way. And that's what happened. Because now, if you do that, your lady that was here before now becomes lady on the left. So that's what happened here. So you basically jumped the line. And this could have been solved by you just flipping this shot in the edit anyways. But let's not do that. Now that you know, so just try to avoid jumping the line. Now, again, you see? The line again still stays jumped. She's still on the left now. I started with her being where? On the right. So if we're going to establish this, then make sure that you keep her on one side all through. And the reason for doing that is not because you're not free to break the lines. It's just that you don't want people to be searching for people. So if my eyes are looking at this girl on the right, I'm probably going to be looking at, let's say I'm looking at her dress, let's say I'm looking at her shoes, let's say I'm looking at her braids and I love it. Or maybe I'm looking at the guy and I'm looking at his hat. The minute you jump the shots and now I have to move from here to here, you've distracted the viewer. So you want to keep the person in the same plane all through, no matter how your shot looks. And this applies to all forms of filmmaking. If you're doing a documentary, if you're doing an interview, if you're shooting a scene in a film, you want people to stay consistently on the line that you started shooting them from. So if you're talking two people on camera, one here, one there, you do a wide shot. When you go to your close-up, or you're over the shoulders, even from the way you frame them, if the person is in a close-up, you have to make sure that they are looking to the side. If you started from them looking to the side, okay? Okay, I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. I'm not going to explain it too deep so it doesn't get confusing. But you can see you've now started keeping her on this line. So this makes sense. So at this point, this is a good example. At this point, she moves. She goes back to her position. So it's nice you can do that. You can show it in the shots when somebody crosses the line because she was on the left, then she went to the right. As long as you show it, our eyes follow the person. So now our eyes reorient and say, okay, she's on the right now. So I can keep watching on the right. Okay? Good. And then you can continue. This is nice. This looks good. I like the color. The shot can match a little bit more, but in terms of exposure, this shot and this shot, they can match just a little bit more. Because this is, let me look at it. I think it's fine actually. It's just because there's a bright hot spot here. So my eyes is going to this a lot more. And the way I would deal with that normally, can you guys guess? Yes, you guessed it right. I hope you guessed it right. Is to do a power window. I'm just going to do that quickly. Show you here. Do a power window. Put a power window on them. Feather it out. Invert it. Make sure that you check the highlight. Highlight is here. I'm going to make it bigger because I don't want it obvious. And then do what? Take down everything. Not too much, because if you go too much, it looks weird. Okay? But take down things around them. And I try to make sure I rotate my power window so it doesn't look like a circle. It doesn't look too obvious that I drew something around them. I'm going to soften it a bit more. You can do that soften here also. And let's see what it looks like without that and what it looks like with it. So field viewer, this is without it, this is with it. Let me show you. No, come on. Go back. All right, so this is without it. Everything is bright. There's no focus on them. This is with it. Maybe a little bit too much. You can take it up a bit. Without. So you can see what that does. It just helps you to reshape the light. Use this at discretion. Don't use it every time, but it's something I use a lot. And ideally, I would track it so it stays. This is a full shot, so I'm not going to put it on an entire film like this. I'll use it for that shot and track it. So let's keep going. I'm going to remove it now, though, and then keep seeing what we're working with. Okay, so that's it. So again, do more close-ups. Change things, change perspective. Make sure you keep the line. Make sure that people are not jumping around on left to right, right to left, and you'll be fine. The shot looks good. Your cinematography is good. You know what you're doing. Your framing is nice. One other thing I'll point is your handheld. Just things are a bit okay, this is fine actually. Yeah, but you can try to reduce your movements, make it smooth. What I do to make stuff smooth is let me show you. So if this is my camera, instead of shooting this way, right? What I would do is put my elbows in my body and then film, show you. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using my body like a tripod. I'm putting my elbows into my body and moving the camera with my body this way. Okay, that just helps you to keep your balance a bit better. And it depends on what camera you're using. Let's talk about color for a second. If there's anything I would do with color, it would be to just try to pop things up a bit more. Let me see. If I use you guys know, if I use my saturation, the way I like to use it, let's go there and see. Color space, HSV, this, and this. Guys, don't forget that this is like a shot that has been exported already, and I'm just pushing it. So saturation, see? Saturation could have helped. See the saturation, see how the skin pops, see how the colors pop better. Okay, so this was what you had before. It looked good when we were watching it. With that cinematic saturation, it just looks better. All right? See, the skin pops. Dark skin pops. Make our melanin pop out, okay? Give it color, give it juice. Also, what I would do is, after doing this, so if this was a shot I had to work with, I would usually probably come in and take out some red. Come here and take out some red. And add some yellow. Let's add yellow. And just see. Yeah. You can see the skin tone, looking all brown skin, girl. It just looks really nice. Let's see if we push out some more red. Lovely. I'm going to do something to the grains just because I can. come to my HSL. That's my curves. Show you guys quickly. So I'm coming here and I'm going to choose the grains. Coming to hue versus hue, choose the grains, and let's push it up and see. Good. Let's push it down a bit more. Then come to the hue versus saturation or hue versus luminance. Come to the grains and push it down. Darken it a bit more. So just a little bit, not too much. You can look here. You see the difference. Look here. So see. Yeah, let's raise the reds. Let's brighten the reds a bit. Brighten the reds so that our skin can pop out a bit more. So again, if I come to do before and after, see how much pop I give the skin here. See, before, skin is a bit underexposed, and after. And all I did was to come to this place. This is me just walking roughly. Guys, don't push things ridiculous like this. But I'm just showing you how much can be done. So I just pushed the reds, pushed it up a bit. I probably wouldn't have had to do this if I was working with the original files, but we're just showing you what is possible. Can saturate the reds a bit if I want. Just give it some more juice, and then let's do Filmmaker. And again, to test, do it to test. I can come and take down saturation a bit. Just do it to test. As long as it works, as long as it looks good, nobody would beat you. So, yeah, that's how much I've improved this shot. Again, there's nothing stopping you from experimenting. Please choose more angles, add more angles to it. Don't just stay in that frame. Again, you have like great dancers. What if the routine is off? How do you like cover that up? That means you have to make them do retakes, takes over takes. So you can try to like add more shots and just enjoy, have fun. Your work is great. Keep saying that your work is really good. Let's move on to the next one. There's another one here. I'm gonna play that sound full screen now. Let's see what that looks like. Nice. You popped out the R from. Okay. So I'm going to stop quickly. So this is the lady's skin. So you have to be very, particular about women's skin. Because you need to be delicate with how you treat it. Sometimes you want to make sure you have to finesse it. So if you're going to do a close up like this, and not just women's skin, but most likely women's skin, because of a lot of things, hormones and everything. Sometimes there are moments when the skin is not the best. You have to give it some extra love, or you don't go too close, or you don't use harsh lighting. So when you use harsh lighting on melanated skin or dark skin, you will see all the imperfections pop out and jump at you. And if you're doing a video that's probably like a commercial and stuff, nobody wants to see that. People want to make sure everything looks almost, you get what I'm saying? Very clean. So what I would have done is probably to use a filter for these shots, or to make sure that in post, what I would have done is probably to come here and soften the skin. So let me show you what I would have done with that. For this shot, I would have selected the skin like this. Make sure that my selection is showing. I've selected the skin like this. Clean it up a bit. Make sure it's just the skin that is showing. Do some clean white, clean black. Add some denoise. Done. And I'll come to mid-tone detail and take it down. And I'll show you what that looks like now. So this before, this after, this before and after. It just helps the skin to smoothen a bit more. After, before and after. You can take it down more as much as you want to say, but it's too much. And at this point, it looks blurry. But you have to make sure that you try to, to just smoothen the skin a bit more. And I'll probably like this skin, raise it up a bit, give it some contrast, then give it some saturation also. The skin can use some love, show it love, okay? This entire shot is a bit too warm, so I'm going to also create a node before this and say add node, add serial before. And guys, you know what I usually do? Printer lights, that's my best friend. Come here and reduce the reds. Okay, reduce the reds a bit more. Let me see what it looks like on the vectorscope. Yeah, I can tell. So let's do that saturation that we used to do and just see what that does for us. Let me look at the skin, see the difference in the skin, see before, see after. You guys can see the difference. I have not done anything too much, just clean up the skin a bit. Here, saturation style. And please don't worry, I'm not naming any of these things today because we're just doing a review and breaking down your film. So, saturation. Yep. I can come back here and reduce some red. Thank you. I want to make sure this shots, I want to give it that life like it's super warm. I'm going to push more yellow. So that's it. So if I start with this, I've given my model some more grace. This is not a great, I didn't do anything serious, but I just hope that you guys get what I'm going for. So this was before. This looks untreated. It looks just plain out of camera. This looks like it spent just a little more time to clean it up. And again, exposure. I didn't do any of that. So let's say we're doing that. So I'm taking my shadows down, increasing my midtones, taking the highlights down, give it some contrast, and raise the pivots. I feel like this using the panel is like a cheat code. So let me use this as the contrast is what I did. Please do not buy the panel just because I use it. I'm just doing a disclaimer right now. This panel makes work faster. It doesn't make you a better colorist. I know I have gear acquisition syndrome. So if you're like me, you might just jump and start buying stuff that you don't need. I got this thing when I got to a stage where I needed it. So please don't think you have to buy this to be a better colorist. Just putting that note out there. In case you're like, yeah, maybe I should get this thing now. It won't make you a better colorist. It will just make you faster. Pivots, raising the pivots, just to open up the shot a bit more. But I don't know if you guys agree, but looking at this already looks like something from a commercial. It looks good already. So full viewer and before. Sorry, this is not before. This is before. This is after. Before and after. Okay. That's a nice shot. Handheld, you can stabilize the shots. Try to make sure your shots are a bit more stable, especially for videos like this. You can drop in a little stabilizer. You can see that small jerk. You can tell that your camera is maybe a small camera. You're not using a gimbal, so all those micro movements would add small shake. What you can do is put your camera on a gimbal, or you probably put your shoulders into your body and move. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the same thing. Nothing has changed. So now I'm just looking at this lady. I'm like, okay, what else should I be doing? What else? So cut to details. Show things, show the shoes, show her face, show her environment, cut to birds, cut to cars on the streets, come back to her so that you can keep things interesting and we're not just looking at one frame for too long. That's what makes cinematography very fun. So let's move on quickly. So I've spoken about composition and they need to do more shots. Let's jump to the lighting. Let's see what you got going here. So in terms of lighting, one of the things I would say is your shot is just a little bit overexposed, just a little bit, nothing serious, nothing that you won't get paid for in a job. So don't worry about it. But if you look at the waveform, you can see what's happening. See, your shots are clipping. That means that, the brightest point is no detail here. Your details are gone. All this part of the shots, let me show you. All this part of the shots are overexposed. And that's not what you kind of want. You want things to, see, overexposed. This is not overexposed, but there's not much detail there. This is overexposed. So it's probably a bright day and you are worried and you want things to look very sharp and stuff. You can't push things down. So what I would do is let me show you. So ideally, the way you want to control this is, let's create a node and just push it down. So you can see what would have happened ideally. So if I come to, let me use the curves now. Ideally, it should be this low. You can see now that I'm bringing it down. You can see how much, things are looking down. But because it's overexposed, there's no information here. So I can't bring anything back. See? Everything looks gray. It looks bland because it's overexposed. So you can't really solve things like that in post. When you have overexposed your shots, you're in trouble. If it's a bit underexposed, you can bring it back up. So I'd rather say, when in doubt, underexposed just a little bit and you'll be fine. Okay? But if I want to save this a bit, what I would do is to, try to put some more contrast. So I'm bringing down the entire shots just to add more pop to the shots. I can't really do much with the exposure here. If I push it too much, it looks weird. So I'm just going to keep that and just try to roll it down a little bit. Look at my model skin. Very important to always make sure you look at skin when you're doing something like this. Look at the skin. You don't want the skin to darken up. So I'm going to bring it back up a bit. Bring this up a bit. And just look at it now. Before and after. Before and after. Again, I'm struggling to do this because this is an exported clip, but you get the idea. Just a little bit more contrast. How much contrast can really help the shot to pop? We've lost details in the shadows, and that's because this is an already graded footage. But let's assume that's what we have to deal with. I'll have to sacrifice and bring it up. Now let's do HSL just to help some colors pop a bit more. So I'm gonna go full viewer and let's see the HSL. By now you guys know what I'm doing. I'm basically moving things in the HSL, which is here. Moving things here. Okay. Let me quickly do it here then. So you can see when I change the blue, see what's happening to address. I'm going to look for a place where the blue is a bit, remember, before and after, before and after, before, after, just to make the blue a bit less, let me change it for you, less digital blue. So let's keep it there, before and after. Let's keep it there. Let's look at the greens and switch the greens and see. If we move the greens around, what I'm trying to do is create separation. She's against the green background. I want to see if I can push these colors to help her to just pop out a bit more. So this is before, this is after. That's looking good right now. So this is me changing the yellows. And you can see that because the entire shot is warm, the yellows are all over the shot and that's affecting the walls. I don't want to do that. There's red also. If I move red, I'm very sure, yeah, that would also affect everything here. So I don't want to do that. I want to switch the reds a bit towards a point that favors our skin. Our skin is not popping right now, and that's because this shot is not probably balanced very well. And that's because, again, I am the one that is messing with it. It's not like it didn't shoot well. It did. We're just messing with it now to make sure we can learn from that and make things look better. I'm going to look at the waveform and just look at the colors. So I come to the parade, and if you look at the white, everything looks fairly balanced. You can see that the whites, the colors are equal. You see, before my adjustment, if you look at it, then with my adjustment, I took the red down a bit, and it's very minimal. There's nothing much happening. I think the main difference is in the mid-tones, and that's okay. So we can actually keep these shots and bring our saturation and see what happens. Let's look at it here. Let me do before. Yeah. I'm going to see what happens if this is unnecessary, guys. And you guys know, we like to push this around and see what happens, because why not? We can do all your learning here before you get on set. When you get on set, there's no time to do that. You just have to deliver. So let's take some words down. Let's come and add a lot of yellow. Just want to warm up the shot and make it look like a bright day, because the shot's very exposed. So if you make it look bright, then it just looks right. Ooh, I just rhymed. Nice. Okay, the skin needs help. We need to make sure the skin pops. The skin is not popping right now. I can look at the shot now. I can tell that there's green all over the shot. There's green. There's that greenish tail all over the shots. Again, your eyes will get used to colors when you do this and when you do this back to back a lot of times. So this is before, this is after, before and after. I'm going to move that green back, the blue back, because I know I moved the blue to a weird tint. Good. Saturate the blue. Let it be the brightest thing in the room. Saturate the reds a bit. Okay, we're good. Happy. So for me, I'll keep this shot this way. I'm going to my luminance and darken the blue a bit. Then, guess what I would do? Who can guess? Saturation. Color space HSV. Come here, channels, channel 1, channel 3. Saturate that guy. Pop it out. Can you see? And when you do that, what do you notice? Some colors will jump at you now. You can go back and start fixing things. Going to increase the contrast a little bit more. Then come here and reduce saturation of my skin tone. And if you give a client this, they will be so happy with you and they will love you. So this was before, this is after. Before and after. Okay? I'm gonna grab a still because I like this frame. I think it's really beautiful. Did a great job. Audio looks great also. Choice of wearing blue in this place is a great choice. I like the light on her body around this point. Also, she's in the dark here, so it would have been better if she was in the light because you're underexposed, because the shot was overexposed and you kept your character, which is the main focus, in the shadows. It makes you kind of struggle to pay attention to her because your eyes will go to the brightest point of the shot. Okay, so this is a beautiful shot. And then, so this is before, and this is your after. Good job. Roger, you're an amazing cinematographer. I'll say it again in case you don't believe in yourself. You're good at what you do. You just need to keep practicing and improving and you'll be fine. Next clip, this is the final one, and play. Okay, I think this was, let me put the audio for this so you guys can enjoy some sound.
Hi guys, welcome to Sensual Healing Session with Rash. Now in these sessions, I'll be helping you to understand the sensual moves a little bit more.
Okay.
Now ladies, first and foremost, you have to dress the part. If you don't feel sexy and you don't look sexy, the dance move nah go come off sexy.
Oh, I love the accent, Jamaican.
So what I want you to do is to put on something nice and try this move at home.
Love
if you want
it.
to give them a nice little lap dance, or if you want to just create a nice intimate moment, dancing can really be used as a great bonding experience.
Ladies,
and exercise.
Listen,
So
and then
first, I normally see ladies do this.
Okay, so we're going to move on. So this is good. This is probably like a dance tutorial, and I like the edit. Oh, this looks really nice. I like the background. I like the choice of location. You know what you're doing when it comes to colors. I can tell clearly that you know what you're doing. Like the choice of what she's wearing with the background, everything is very, very good. Okay, so let's break it down, right? First thing that is jumping at me, I hope you can tell now from the first video I reviewed for you, it is your light. So your light source is obvious. So I can tell that your light, again, let's draw. Your light is coming from here. And it's good, like I said, I like the fact that you understand lighting. You know that you don't have to put all the lights you have. You're creating like this shadow, you're creating the bright side, which is really good. However, this light is obviously a big source of light, a small source of light, my bad. So this is a small source of light, and being small does not mean like the size of your light. Maybe it's a very big airy light, or maybe no. Being small means that the light is coming from a small source. So let's say this is your light and it has like a cone. So this looks like light that is coming straight from a source. It might also be like a source like what I'm using right now, like a small box of light, and it's just coming at the person. But because you're lighting the person from top to down, you need a bigger source. So again, what I would do ideally for something like this is I would have a shower curtain on a light stand. I have my lights. Why am I drawing that for lights? This is a light stand, guys. This is my lights. Okay? And I'll bounce the lights into the shower curtain. I'm saying shower curtain because I feel like it's the most accessible like source of diffusion that most people can get access to. I'll bounce my light into that so that the light can come very soft around our body. You can see that this place is in the darkness, and from here it's kind of bright here. That's obviously the size of the diffusion you are using. You want to get something that will at least cover to get like perfect lighting. That's awesome. That's one. So the light will be soft, and then the light will at least cover our entire body. One other thing I would say is I can see that there's backlight here, which is really good. I can see that you did backlight on this side of our head or a headlights or whatever it is. It might be coming from a lamp here and it's just lighting now and it's separating out from the darkness, which is good. That's really good. I can also see like some of the lights around here, which is also very good. So that's good. The choice of the light in the background helps because it makes sure that you're not filming against pitch black. So I love that. That's awesome. So well done. Yeah, I can tell clearly. I don't know if by accident or you planned it, but I want to think that you planned it. But I can tell that your backlight is there and it's helping to highlight her. It's not too obvious, which is good. But what I would do is probably I would have increased it just a tiny bit more, just a little bit more, so it can create separation, especially around here, around her legs, down here. Just to have more light separating her, separating her from this darkness because it's very dark out here. So if you had like increased your backlight. Also, I feel like what you are lighting with is from the top, which is giving her a top light, which is good. But you also need like light that goes around here, down and traces like an outline of her body. So ideally, I'll put one light maybe around this side and just bounce, just flash it. I won't use any diffusion self. Just take it to like maybe 2%, and just let the light go and do the backlights. Or let's call it a rim light now. I want to see when you brought the second person, what that looks like. I like this frame so much. I think it's so good. But this is nice. It's lovely. It's a nice shot. There's nothing to complain about this. It's really good. So well done. If you soften your lights, you will not see a lot of hot spots on her body. You can see like if you look at her body very well, because she's wearing something that is bright and it's going to reflect light back, you can see some of the hot spots. Just it's nothing to bother you. This looks good. Your skin is good. The color is nice. But if you use a softer source of light, you won't get things like this. It will be reduced on her face. So if you can try that, then you'll be fine. And I think that's it. I hope you're very proud of yourself, bro. Like, your work is good. Like, you sent me an email and said you started like 6 months ago, and I can't believe that from what I've seen. Like, this is really good. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Roger, cheers to you. Your work is amazing. I hope you have also learned something from the reviews, your composition. Please try to like change your angles. It's more fun when you have more angles and you have more coverage than just keeping your camera. If you're going to keep your camera, maybe you should introduce movements. Use a gimbal, move in, move out, circle around them just to create movement other than waiting from afar and shooting them. So what that makes you feel is that you're looking at this person and they're disconnected from you, because if you want to be up close and personal with somebody, you want to be close to them to feel them, right? Besides that, your work is good. In terms of lighting, I think it gets better. We're all learning how to light better. There's no one way to do it. As long as it looks good, you're good. As long as your client is happy, you're good. Just keep learning, keep pushing yourself, keep filming, keep experimenting. And I hope everyone else that has watched this has gained something. I hope this is something valuable for you. It was nice for me to watch this also and just really reminisce my early days, and also appreciate people's work from different sides of the world. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment. If you want me to feature your clip, something you've shot, most likely something you've shot that I've not graded, send me an email and drop a comment first, and I will tell you if it's something you should go ahead and send to me, because I've got like a lot of videos to make for you guys. I might not be able to review everybody's video, but I'll try my best to make sure that this community will keep learning by watching each other's work and giving suggestions to be better. You can also like drop comments if there are other ways you would have done the things I'm doing, or if there are better ways to do it. I'm not the best person to do it. You'll probably do it better than I do, and hopefully I can learn from you too. So if you've not seen any of my videos, please go on my channel and just go enjoy all my videos, because they're awesome. Most of them are about melanated people, dark skin, black skin people like me, and I know there's not a lot of videos on YouTube about this, so please go there, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you keep creating, keep shooting, keep filming, and above all, don't be lazy like me. Cheers, bye.